Denied, delayed, underrated? That's the story for too many veterans, including me. Hey veterans and the families listening in, welcome. My name is Robert Pinero. I'm a Marine combat veteran and the founder of Veterans Educating Veterans. I've served 2 tours in Iraq, and like many veterans, I know how hard it is to get service connected and navigate the VA system. After service, I was frustrated, in pain, and told no more times than I can count, even by VA attorneys. So instead of giving up, I decided to learn the VA process myself. That's what Veterans Educating Veterans is built on. We educate and guide veterans through the VA compensation process, step by step, helping you understand how the system works so you can move forward with confidence, not confusion. I do this work alongside my wife, Jillian, and 4 our 2 daughters because our families live with the impact of service long after the uniform comes off. You deserve the benefits you've earned, not just for yourself, but for the family that stands beside you. Welcome to the War Room.
The War Room by Veterans Educating Veterans.
Just a quick disclaimer, this is for education only and not for legal or medical advice. Every claim is different, so don't take this as an individual guidance. Welcome back to another War Room episode. Today we have a substitute for one of our coaches. Is actually he had the first VEV baby. So Jesse is not here today. Congratulations, Jesse, on your baby, and my nephew. So filling in for him is Jillian Pinero.
Hi, guys.
She is also my wife, also my business partner, and the what can I say about your title?
Everything.
The voice of the company.
The client operations, staffing operations.
So introducing Jillian Pinero, I have with us Coach Cody and our senior coach, James Lefever.
What's going on, guys?
All right. We have an exciting topic today, of course, because Jillian's in the room. We're going to talk about how the VA process impacts veteran wives and families. So I'd like to start it off with Jillian. How do you think the VA process has affected our relationship with stress, frustration?
I definitely think a lot of it in the beginning, like when you were going through the process before you got your rating and all that, I think it was tough just in general because work, right? Like getting out of the military. I read somewhere that statistically Marines actually have the hardest time relating back to civilian life than any other branch. So I think when I first met you, you were freshly out, right? Like you had literally been back from Iraq within a couple of years, not even. So finding work was tough. Keeping work was tough. Keeping those relationships with people, getting back into the civilian life, and just worrying about how our bills were going to get paid. How, what if something happens to you at work and you have a trigger at work? Learning your triggers is hard, and now we don't have a job. So waiting, and years went by before you even got your initial rating. So I think that was stressful a lot, especially in the beginning before we were able to figure it out and things like that. That's what I think.
Cool. Okay. So what do you think most people misunderstand about veteran spouses?
So I think to people that aren't married to a vet, and I don't know if all wives feel this way or not, but for me personally, learning how to just cope and deal with your triggers and knowing certain things that aren't a big deal to me could be a big deal to you. And a lot of people that live the civilian lifestyle don't realize that, inside somebody who was in the military, your brains are just different. So me learning how to just kind of step back. I have a very passive, I think, personality, right? So just saying, I'm very Go ahead. You have something that you need to say?
Use your words wisely.
Speaking of passive. No, but I am like, I'm just more like, I let a lot of things just roll off where some people are like, oh my God, that would drive me crazy. This would drive me crazy. And I think just understanding your whys behind your doing things as opposed to the fact that it's not, because you're a control freak, or it's not because, you always looking at the best in things, just things like that. Where I'm very, not like that. Like I say all the time, I could go out and just turn my brain off because I know that he's looking at all my surroundings. I'm not looking at that. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. I know when he's there, he's looking at who's walking in the door, who's walking out of the door, where the exits are, where this, where that. Where me, I'm just like, whatever. And certain things could be like, no, don't do this, don't do that. And I think just understanding why I am the way I am with you, or just wives in general, I think it takes a lot of understanding to people to understand why they do that. Like, how can you be so passive? How can that not bother you? And it's just like, it's not because he's not doing it on purpose. That's just how his brain is trained. And that's just how the military trained you guys. And I understand that. Even like with our kids, there's times where, our kids are small. They don't listen. And I'm like, oh, they're running in front of us. They're fine. And he's just like, no, they need to stay close by. God forbid something happens, where his mind automatically goes to the worst thing. Like, no, somebody could come out. Somebody can grab them. They can get run over by a car. This can happen. This can happen. And I'm just like, they're fine. They're kids. They'll be okay. So I think it's a lot of misunderstanding in that, where it makes us look like we don't care. But in the reality, it's just that we're learning to deal with our spouse.
So I like to include Cody in here. Cody, what kind of conversations does your wife have with you about certain things with you that you probably don't see, that are blind spots?
In regards of what I'm told that I do wrong, as far as
that's the norm.
So there's a lot of stuff that we don't see eye to eye when it comes to this type of thing. As far as like you mentioned, the kids, especially what you just talked about, it goes right into, I'm trying to develop a plan of, okay, they're running away, and I'm trying to figure out a plan of worst case scenario if something came up and I need to figure out a plan of how to protect them. Whereas she's like, oh, just let them be kids for the most part. So in that aspect, we're very different when it comes to that. So that's, in general, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Gotcha. I don't know. My brain turns on, I guess, something that, like, I always got to be watchful. I always got to think of the worst scenario, and you're always planning. And
it's hardwired.
Yeah, like, I'm thinking of the worst scenario ever when we're doing that.
James wants to say something so bad right now. Like, he's just, go ahead, say it. Go. Say it.
So I think a lot of this really stems more from that it's a traditional father role figure. But with the military, I think it elevates it to another level is really what it comes down to. So
makes sense.
I think that's what you see is just more of, I don't want to say hypervigilance level, but I think that's really what it comes down to. Just because, especially as a Marine, as Marines, everything's ingrained in you. It seems, more impactful. And I think with that, everything is planned out. And then once you leave the military, you get total chaos or total freedom. And you can go one way or the other. And in a lot of, prior military people, they're used to that structure of, okay, today I wake up at 6 a.m. I got to be here for PT Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have at 7 a.m. formations. Thursday's field days, and Friday I have duty and fire watch. There's so much structure, and that's gone when they leave the military, that a lot of people really struggle because they don't have that defining, they don't have that
set schedule.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. A set schedule of where I need to be. And it really throws them for a tizzle, and they have no idea, and they really spiral out of control. And I think a lot of them kind of go downhill and kind of come back once they kind of find their new calling of being out of the military and what that may be for them.
Got it. So Cody, just to go back on what you were saying, how was your spouse supportive with your VA process, though, with getting compensation?
So this was a big one because when I was filling out a lot of the paperwork needed to go through this process, I struggled immensely with that. I can't stand paperwork. In my previous job, I had a lot of paperwork and it was terrible. I hated it. So I was trying to fill it out and I'm like, I don't see a lot of this stuff. And my wife would laugh because she's like, you have a lot of this stuff. And there's nobody that knows better what you do wrong than your wife. So she helped me fill it out and was like, you have this, you do this, you do this. And so that is one great person that can help you fill that stuff out. And that's what she helped me out or helped me do. I didn't think that I was so bad when it came to driving until she pointed a lot of stuff out. I'm terrible. She's made that very clear. When it comes to the road rage things. So I'm trying to tone that back a little bit. It's very hard to control. But she was very, very supportive in helping me fill that paperwork out because there was a lot of stuff that I did not see that they experience every day. So that was one of the major things right there.
So Jillian, just going back to you, have you had a conversation with other military spouses and what were their reactions to either the VA process or just dealing with a veteran with certain symptoms?
So, like, client-wise, I always tell them, put your wife on the phone. You can tell me no 100 times, please put your wife on the phone. Because it's true. We see things that you guys definitely don't, or some things that you don't even see is a problem, or that it's as serious as it is. Oh no, that's just who I am, or that's just this. And then you read the symptoms of certain things and you're like, that's not just who you are. This is a symptom of what you have. I had one wife tell me, so for example, one of the PTSD symptoms, right, is not the spatial disorientation, but like the disorientation of, what's the symptom? No, the last one is the one that it's like, you don't know who the president is. It gives you like an actual, like it's a very...
So forgetting names.
Yeah, like the one that's like more serious. And she told me, she was like, if I paint this house, my husband will not be able to get home. Like he won't know where to find the house. Like he gets lost every day coming home. And he was like, I know how to get home. And she was like, you called me the other day and you were 3 blocks away and couldn't figure out how to get here. So he's sitting here saying like, no, of course I could get home. And she's like, don't you remember 3 weeks ago? You couldn't, like you literally could not get home. And, just things like that where he doesn't see it as a problem. He's like, all right, so what? I went 3 blocks out of the way. And she's like, but you do this all the time. Like, we have to have a certain awning in front of the house just so you know which one it is. I've had wives tell me all the time, too, that, and this is something that I can relate with when the babies cry, right? So, like, he'll sleep when my kids are small, he will sleep through her crying. But if there's the drop of any type of noise in my house, he will jump out of bed. So it's like they're trained, or you guys are trained to hear different sounds. Can we edit that?
Keep it in.
So it's like, you hear a little boom or a bang, all of a sudden,
abnormal.
He's jumping out of bed, running to the kitchen, but the kid will be screaming for 20 minutes and he won't budge. So, it's little things like that. And I talk to veteran spouses all day long. Most of them are the ones that call in for their husbands. I mean, how many times do I have in the notes of a client, this is the wife's number, call her, she'll handle it. Because a lot of them also don't want to handle it. They don't want to admit that they have it, or they just don't want to deal with it. Especially when it came to that. I mean, in the beginning, I was clueless when it came to the VA. I didn't know what he was trying to do or what he was even entitled to or anything like that. I also just remember, when we first met, I had the RSX. I had a little coupe. It was my first car, and it was small. And he would be stuck in it because his back pain was like so deliberating, he couldn't get out. And I would be like, come on, like, get out of the car. You're ridiculous right now. Like, I didn't know. And
I'm laughing because I'm picturing Rob
stuck in the RSX, right? Literally. I was just like, come on, get out. And he was like, you don't understand. Like, I can't move. And I'm like, you're a little bit dramatic. Like, it's time to get out of the vehicle. And then as time progressed, I realized, like, damn, those are pretty bad flare-ups, because there'll be times that he was not only stuck in the car, stuck on the couch, or, having our kids now. it's hard because they see other people, right? Daddy, I want to go on your shoulders. Daddy, can you pick me up? And he's lucky if he can, carry her for more than 3 minutes. Because
especially when we go on vacation or go
Yeah.
on trips like this.
At the amusement park or something, Daddy put me on your Daddy lift me up to feed the giraffes when we're at the zoo. It's tough, and the spouses see it too, and those are the stories that they tell me also. I'm stuck, holding the baby and bathing them. I have to bathe them because I can't bend down. I can't coach my kids because X, Y, and Z. So, it's hard on the kids too. I feel like they see all the dads and stuff, coaching and this and that, and then your dad has to, kind of pull back a little bit.
Awesome. We have gone over a couple of stuff, how veteran spouses can actually help with the VA process, how the VA process is affected with your family as well. And we're going to end this with that. Your spouses are a key person for your claim. Some of them can see the blind spots that you're not seeing, and that's crucial to your claim. I think we've put Jillian, who has experience talking to some of our clients' wives about what's going on, and usually the veteran is toughing it up, manning it out, the way we like to call it. So with that, I leave you with the information we gave you here. Thank you for listening. See you on the next one. Like, subscribe, and let us know if you want us to talk about something.
The War Room by Veterans Educating Veterans.